Hi guys, Dr. Darlin Offsager here. In this video, I'm going to be running through the basic first level of muscle testing for foods. So I will be, in this session, I will be working on an actual client who I'm going to keep anonymous. And this is a list of kind of foods that is currently kind of being eaten and wanted to, kind of keep in the mix and find reactive foods and clear them and whatever. So we're going to start out first just in the muscle testing process. So this is what I would just call like kind of the first round or basic muscle testing, and we're going to use a touch local test. And by that, I mean, if we had a food, okay, right now I have my coffee here, I can just put the coffee in my field and just do a muscle test. So I use the O-ring method, and that just in my field was strong, okay? That just a basic level. Now, if I could drill in further, like I use for the correction process where I'm kind of running that through all the way through the body and various points and whatever, and I guarantee you I would find some place in my body that would be weak to this. But starting out, I'm just looking for my most reactive foods. Okay, now in this case, I have a list here. So that's what I'm going to be working on. So this first round depends on, kind of what you're doing. Okay, so if you have the foods present, now it's always going to be best. It's optimal to actually test the foods you are actually getting ready to eat in the form you are getting ready to eat them in. Okay. Just because it's very rare that we would, let's take broccoli, just have broccoli. That's it. That's all. No, no. Whether it's steamed is going to be a different frequency than if it is sauteed, which is going to be a different frequency than if it's raw, which is going to be a different frequency if it's raw organic versus just, um, every farm, the frequency of that particular food is going to be different based on, um, what it's coupled with, whether you've used butter or whether you use margarine, versus, what spices you may have used. And that's going to be different if you're just, iodized white salt versus, Himalayan salt, freshly ground, right? All of those things matter, and it's going to change the frequency of your food, which that specific frequency is going to be what is going to react through the system. Okay. So, um, so you could do a touch local test. So like, let's take the very first food on my list of carrot, right? If I had an actual carrot and I'm putting it in my field, anywhere in my field, okay, and I'm muscle testing it and it's strong, okay, that's going to be different than if I say indicate carrot, okay? For me, that's strong. Now, right now, I'm testing as me, not my client. I'll do that in a minute. So you can basically muscle test actual foods, meaning they're present, you have access to them. You can test verbally by indicate carrot, okay? You can write down on a piece of paper carrot. Like if you knew, let's say, um, let's say your bag of carrots was from Golden Farms or something like that. You could write down on a piece of paper, Golden Farms carrot. Okay. That would be more specific. Okay. So there's many different ways to source out your foods for testing. Okay. Um, Now it's always going to be better, like I said, if you're using and testing out the actual food. That's going to have the closest bioresonant match to what you're attempting to get at, right? Um, so you can also use like energetic vials. But again, those are usually compilation vials. That's going to require your like subconscious, you know, to like factor in what does that mean, and you know, kind of make certain assumptions based on those things, right? Um, so the closer you can get to what you are actually going to put in your mouth, the better, um, you know, all this is going to be. But that's not always practical. So, you know, in this case, I just have like, you know, my list from my clients. So that's what I'm going to be working at. Okay. Now, by doing this first level of like touch local, where I'm just indicate the food. Okay. Um, it's going to help me find my most problematic foods. Okay. Because this coffee that I just tested, right? Let's say I had tested weak. Now, I probably tested weak because maybe it imbalances my aura. Maybe it throws out a chakra or two. Maybe there's, you know, two or three main meridians that it knocks out of balance. Maybe there's, so there, you know, as it goes through the system, it can still react. But it has to have a certain amount of reactivity amongst kind of the body as a whole for it to produce a weak response. Okay. So if it does produce a weak response on this first level, you know that that's a pretty reactive food. Okay. So we'll start with the most reactive foods, and then, um, you know, if there's still food issues and there's still, um, you know, we haven't gotten as far as we'd like to get, then we'll go with the, you know, and, you know, really drill in deeper to those other foods. So, um, the last thing I want to say just about the basic testing and how we're going to be kind of running through this is that we're going to always let the body and the subconscious mind or higher guide. I mean, especially in a situation like this, where, as you can see, I have on this list, I have 78 foods that I'm going to quickly work up. Okay. Just yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, all the way through. Okay. And you'll see that in just a minute. Um, but depending on how many foods, like I might not be able to clear all of those in one shebang, right? And the body may have, okay, you can only do 10 of these because some of these are so toxic and they've produced so much inflammation and toxins that it is storing and everything else, that you can't do all of that um, all at one time. And we'll always, when I get to the point of clearing, which I'm not even for sure I'm going to be I'm going to be clearing today. I'm still waiting for my client. I'm like, I know I have clients authorization for the testing. I've already been there, done that. So that's where I'm going to be at. And then we'll evaluate whether or not I'll actually do the clearings today. So one step at a time, and I'm just gonna go through this process and just start showing you how kind of I do this. Okay, now close this down. I am going to maximize this. Okay, let me lock these. Bear with me. Freeze my top row. Okay, now I'm going to come in, and just so I am keeping these kind of blind, and blind just means I have no idea what I'm testing. I'm just not even going to get into it. Keep my brain out of the way or whatever else. Okay, so I am going to hide this row. Okay. Um, I'm gonna quickly do a baseline. Yes, no. My name is Darla. Okay. Now I'm going to tap into my client. My name is, okay. Um, Indicate this one. Okay. Okay. Okay, this is nice. Okay. Okay. So basically all of these, okay. Oh, I don't know how to unhide this now. I know how to do it. Um, okay, there we go. Okay. Okay, so basically I have all of my, um, so in this case, I mean, it's probably best that I do like weak and strong. But, so a yes is a strong, a no is a weak, basically. So, so basically, this is telling me all of the things that um, I need to clear when it comes to um, interesting. Okay. Um, so basically, that's it in a nutshell. And then in the next video, or it's, yeah, in the next video in this series will be um, showing you my correction process of how, and I'll start out with these no responses, these weak, that tested weak in just this first go round, and then we'll see where we go. Based on this, I mean, I'm thinking I can probably clear all of these in just one shebang, depending, because there was an awful lot of yeses, so but we'll kind of work that up when we actually start the correction process. So hopefully y'all found this helpful, and until next time.